I have spent the better part of the last week attempting to get a mirror perfect finish in aluminum, and I've gotten pretty damn close, as you can see. Now today, I'm going to show you the exact method that I use to get that exact finish. However, I'm kind of a bad YouTuber who's got a little bit of that, And because of that, I didn't record any of my failures. Instead, I'm just going to show you the meat and potatoes of how to do it. So let's get going. Now, anytime you're doing machining, the first thing that you always start with is your programming. This is Gibbs Cam. This is the CAD cam that we use here. If you're new here and you've never seen me talk about CAD cams or software or programming, a CAD cam is a computer-assisted drafting or a computer-assisted machining CAD cam. Basically, we draw some lines, we click our tools, and we tell our tool what we want it to do. And for the most part, it gives us a script that is almost completely perfect. Almost. Now, I've learned almost this entire field by myself using YouTube and stuff like that. Yes, I had somebody who taught me a little bit at the beginning, and then, he retired and all that stuff. So, I don't know everything. I don't know how to do everything. And that's why it's so much fun, because you can do something wrong and still do it right. Now, typically the first thing you do when you start making a part is you go through your print vigorously and decide what kind of tooling you would need, and then get the tooling or gather it from around your shop or whatever it may be. In this specific situation, I was given literally just a part and told, hey, I need you to make these. As well as they told us, that has to be a mirror finish. That means I'm reverse engineering a part. I don't have every single tool at my disposal. I don't have every single fancy new piece of technology. Instead, I've got an old school comparator and a pack of modeling clay from Wally World. Let's go! So to save you a bunch of time, basically we made an inverse version of it. We used this comparator, which is turned off right now because it's really loud, and we measured it, got some numbers, used those numbers to factor into a formula, and then we figured it out. We figured out what that radius is. It's roughly 1.25 inches. Doesn't matter. I can't give you the specific numbers because I'll get in trouble anyway, but that's how we got it. So now we bring it full circle, right back to here, our CAD cam, and what I'm doing, because I have never made a concave shape like this. I've never done it on a face. So my first thought is the only thought I ran with. However, this is not going to make sense. I have it described as a grooving tool. Something like this. However, I described it as having a full radius and a 1/2 inch diameter, meaning the radius would be 1/4 inch. And here's where the trickery comes in. I programmed it as if I was sweeping this with a full radius tool that has a thickness of 1/1000th of an inch, which, if you know anything, that's unrealistic. You can't do that. So if you're still with me, you're probably thinking, what is he getting at? What is he doing? What's the plan here? Well, after 10 years in this industry, I'm at the point where I genuinely think I speak G-code better than I speak English. It's like I was born speaking it. It's just numbers and letters and, oh God, it's just the alphabet. So in my hand right now is how we're going to cut that concave shape. I'm sorry if it's echoey, I'm sitting inside of a machine. And are you ready? It's an end mill, but it's a ball mill? Yeah, it's a ball mill. I'm going to be doing this with a ball mill. This machine is fancy as all get out, and it's got live tooling holders. In other words, it's got a main spindle that, spins, and it's got these thingies that spin. Oh wait, this is locked, never mind. It's got these thingies that spin. So we're gonna put this in, we're gonna put it in that holder right there. I broke one, we're not gonna talk about the broken tool. We're gonna put it in right there, and we're gonna finish this part. Now don't you worry your sweet little face there, boo-boo. I'm gonna get to the good stuff and I'm gonna show you how to polish it up. First things first, I'm gonna put on this welding magnet so I have something to put my phone on so that you guys can actually see me changing tools. So this is the tool we're gonna be changing. It is, however, in a live tooling spindle, or live tooling head, sorry. So that means I need to use 2 different wrenches. One to hold and stabilize the live tooling so that I don't break the actual driving in here. And then the other to just go ahead and put that in the back pocket so I don't drop that end mill. To go ahead and break it free. And then wrench it all the way off. Pull it out. it'll go in the carbide place where we, recycle carbide and all that stuff. Put the new one in. Yeah, roughly there. I never, ever, ever clamp on flutes. It can damage your collets. It can get you in imprecise cuts, which is not fun. Avoid clamping on your flute. Twitch the scissors. Look at that. She ain't going nowhere. Now we move on to the next step, measuring it. Fancy dancy new technology. Look at that tool. She pretty, she pretty. All measured and good to go. Let's see her go. It's already been ran, so that means it's cutting air right now because I'm lazy and didn't want to skip lines. Never mind. I lied. I don't want to wait that long. We're gonna jump straight to the tool in question, which is gonna be T0808, and hit the search down button. There it is. Now I always start on my M1, M0, whatever is above it, so that it has a chance to load any modals that may be involved with that tool. I can also see that my work shift is here, and then this is the magic code that makes this whole thing work. So this is a simulation that's going to show what the machine is going to do, sort of, until we get to that face grooving tool, and then I'll explain. Roughs down all of it, gets rid of everything on that face, gives it a nice clean finish, comes in there with that grooving tool on the face. This is not the one we changed, or that I changed, or however you want to word it. This is actually putting in a groove for an O-ring, so that does not need to be shiny. You can see I've been grinding all day, look at that. How dirty my hands are, it's awesome. See that, right there. You can see that profile. However, in here, that thing is slim. That thing is so slim, it's ridiculous. That's where this magic comes in. And here it is, and it's simple. It's literally just exactly what my CAD cam posted, which is turning on the main spindle, which is P11, and then I injected code to tell it to turn on my sub spindle, which is the live turning head, to 4,500 RPMs, which is fun. And you notice that feed rate is really slow. That's because I'm going 5,000 RPMs total. And now we're back to the machine, watching her go. Like I said, I described it as a grooving tool, and I modified it to turn it into a ball mill. Here, let's peek in there. What's a little bit of cooling? You gotta watch this machine at home. Look at that thing go. Holy cow. I knew I needed a shower today, but this is ridiculous. Alright. Oh, that camera is bad. Alright. Now that we're waiting for this to finish out, you could do all that fun stuff that YouTubers tell you to do, like, subscribe, comment, all that. I'm gonna drink some water while I wait for this to finish up, and then we'll get to the real grinding. Oh, God. My drinking problem's getting bad, guys. Hey, I'm done. And it was another success. Look at that booty. I mean, it's not beautiful, but it's beautiful, sort of, kind of. So, obviously, this is an extremely rough surface with some really bad ripples. So the first step is going to be to get those ripples out. So what I ended up doing was actually taking a part that was designed for a completely different customer. However, this was a scrap one from a batch. I just pulled it out. I put a pipe tap in the back so I could have something to hold on to. And as you can see, it's really rough. That's because what I'm doing is I'm taking some 800 grit sandpaper, taking relatively thin strips, and I am wrapping it around while holding on to that pipe tapped inserted brass piece. It's obviously just a hose, a hose thingy-majigger. Words are hard sometimes, just hang with me. However, there's something that is a bit of a secret sauce to this, so to speak, and it's right here. Denatured alcohol. You see, denatured alcohol is extremely great at one thing with aluminum. Yes, it's flammable and hazardous, but we ignore that. We're not in California. You see, denatured alcohol does one great thing with aluminum. It actually slows down the oxidization process. But you might be thinking, how are you going to do that? Well, you see, I made something fancy right here. I got some zip ties, some redneck genuity, and it's just going to constantly drip feed denatured alcohol right onto my hands. So yeah, let's get to it. So using the handle wheel on my lathe here, I'm actually going to put it right into the position that I want it to be to where that is dripping just in front of the part, right about there-ish. Then I'm going to put the machine into MDI, and I'm going to give it a few commands. So, if you're keeping notes, whoops, I mistyped. If you're keeping notes, this right here, G97, is going to make sure that I'm at a constant spindle speed. M3 means I need my spindle going in a forward direction or clockwise direction. S1500 means my spindle is going to be at 1500 RPMs. P11 is just a command for the main spindle. So it's telling the main spindle to turn clockwise at 1500 RPMs at a constant revolution. So now we engage the spindle. I'm stepping away, I'm out of camera so you can actually hear me. That's probably going to be the best angle that I could give you from this shot, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that ball thing from before, and I'm just going to roll it around in there, you know, kind of get in all those little grooves and get rid of them, get rid of the groove out of it. We're going Footloose town, old school, before, you know, Kevin Bacon came about. I'm going to try to keep the sandpaper as wet as possible. You cannot oversaturate it because it is going to evaporate quick. It's denatured alcohol after all. As you can see, that is already looking better. There's no extreme ridges anymore. Most of that warbling is taken out, and that was just 800 grit. So now we're going to move on to 1200 grit. It's going to be basically the same process where I'm going to take this 1200 grit, thin strips, wrap around ball, same thing, time lapse. Let's go. So there it is after the 1200, and next we're going to switch to 2000. Little squares, and I'm just going to get it completely soaked, and I'm just going to wipe it, wipe it, wipe it. Oh yeah, looking good. Already a huge improvement, but still kind of dull. So that brings us to the next step, which is actually something that most people don't even consider as an abrasive. You know, people think sandpaper, they think of anything like that, steel wool, they think of all these other things. However, what we're going to use is something that most people don't even consider as an abrasive. Just a bag of Scott rags in a box. You can get them at anywhere. I mean, Lowe's, you can get them at Home Depot, you can get them at RC Willey, O'Reilly's, anywhere. And they're amazing. And now the reason they are abrasive is because if you grab these and you were to touch them, you can feel that they're a little bit rough, you know? They're still better than, you know, Scott brand toilet paper. Don't ever touch that shit unless, you know, you want your asshole to hurt. So I'm actually going to use this much like I was using the sandpaper. I'm going to wrap my ball around it, and I'm going to put it all in there, and I'm going to soak it. And I mean, absolutely soak it with this denatured alcohol here. Squeeze it a little bit. Yeah, turn on that spindle and time lapse, go! It's insane how much of a difference that cloth made. So now we're moving on to the final step. The final step is a two-parter. I'm going to use this Never Dull. It's all metal wadding polish. It's the only thing we had. It's the closest thing we had to an actual compound. And then for stage 2, Dremel. Dremel with the buffing pad. However, that buffing pad is scorched, and I don't know why, but it works better this way. Cue the time lapse. Now, as you can see, she's already looking pretty good. Time for the final second half of the last stage. Time to pull out that Dremel. And there it is, a mirror finish. Even my coworker said my camera does not pick this up well enough, but it is shockingly shiny. So now we just take this doodad out because, you know, don't want an unset tool or a tool that's loose to be left in the machine. I'm also going to go around the edge of this with an X-Acto knife and cut all that excess tape off. However, I can't do it with only one hand, so I'll come back. I'll show you. It looks good. The tape is all gone, but it's still there. So the reason I did that is because I'm going to be parting it off, and I don't want chips to, scratch that surface. So now, obviously, it probably goes without saying, but not everybody has access to a damn near brand new lathe with live tooling. However, you don't need it. Let's be realistic. If there is a will, there is a way, and guess what? I am here today, so let me show you how else you can do this. This is a very old drill press. If you were to look on eBay, you could probably get one of these for damn cheap. The best part about it is it's belt driven with many, many steps. So you can change your gear ratio at any point to get it to go faster. You could hit that 1500 RPMs that I'm using that on. And you could chuck up damn near anything in a drill press. This table even lowers, so you could come from underneath and do exactly what I just did. It's gonna be a little bit more time consuming, gonna be a little bit more, who knows how to put it, but either way, it can be done other ways. I mean, look at that. This drill press goes up to 8,550 RPMs. This little guy over here from Harbor Freight, he goes up to 3,500 RPMs. And there we have it. Our part is completely done, parted off with a rough surface on the back, just gotta finish that on another operation, and there's still tape there, which is perfect. I'll just use this stuff, this vandalism remover. It's great for paint, all that kind of stuff, lipstick, glue, gum, blah, 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 a whole list of things. And I'll just use that to strip all the adhesive off that face, and then it'll be good as new. That's also why I use the denatured alcohol with that Neverdull, is because then, like I said, it actually impregnates this aluminum. So after I strip everything off of it with that spray, it'll still be just shiny as new. There you have it. If you had fun, or you learned anything, or anything like that, you know what to do. Every YouTuber says the same thing. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Share it to somebody who you love and think that they'd enjoy it. Every YouTuber says the same thing at this point. But I'll see you next time. Bye!